Welcome back to day 3 of March Madness Explained, and today we have the first round of the round of 32. I gotta be honest, the first round was a little underwhelming. I'm hoping today will be better, and if you stay to the end of this video, there are a couple games that will come down to the last possession. Let's get right into it. Game 1 of the day took place at 11 a.m. this morning. McNeese, the 12 seed, versus Purdue, the 4 seed. Of course, the guy that's stolen the show this March Madness, Amir Khan, the student manager from McNeese, walks them out in this new tracksuit. Supposedly, he's been getting NIL deals left and right. But on the floor today, it was all Purdue in this first half. CJ Cox hits this 3 to put Purdue up 30-14, giving McNeese the Clemson treatment. Trey Kaufman-Renn and Braden Smith were both phenomenal, and although McNeese would outscore Purdue in the second half, the closest they get this to before the very end is 16 points, and even at the end, it was only 14 versus Purdue's backups. This ends a phenomenal back-to-back seasons in the NCAA tournament for McNeese. They finally get that win in the first round. Will Wade is off to NC State next year, and he's done a phenomenal job with this program. Javon Garcia, their leading scorer, had 12 points on 4 for 7 from the field. Sincere Parker had 17 points. On Purdue's side, Trey Kaufman-Renn continues to be one of the most impressive players in this tournament, 22 points and 15 rebounds. Braden Smith only 10 points and 5 assists, but we all know he's one of the best point guards in the country. Purdue moves on to the Sweet 16 again. They'll play the winner of Houston and Gonzaga next week. Next up, we have a legendary coaching matchup between St. John's and Rick Pitino versus Arkansas and John Calipari. St. John's may have used all of their three-pointers in their first round matchup versus Omaha. Remember, this is not a good shooting team. They're the #1 defense in the country. That's what they do well. Their star, RJ Lewis, is struggling early in this one, 2 for 12 from the field, and St. John's is down 35-32 at half. John L. Davis's layup makes this game a 13-point game, 55-42 with 11:32 to go, but St. John's was not done. They go on a run of their own here, a 7-0 run, cutting the lead to 6, 55-49. This RJ Lewis layup makes it a 4-point game. A free throw from him makes it a 3-point game, and this Ruben Prey dunk makes it a 2-point game with 4:11 to go. But Arkansas just out-executes them down the stretch on the offensive end. 4 points for them in a couple possessions. St. John's needs a 3 badly here, but they miss. They get an offensive board. They miss again. Another offensive rebound, and Aaron Scott misses both free throws. And that'll be it for this one. Arkansas wins 75-66. Rick Pitino doesn't play the Big East Player of the Year, RJ Lewis Jr., down the stretch. And St. John's goes home in their greatest season in a long time. In the press conference afterwards, they'll ask Rick Pitino why he didn't play RJ Lewis, and he just wouldn't answer the question, which I do respect. However, we know why he didn't play him. He was shooting poorly from the field. He went 3 for 17 overall. However, he's the Big East Player of the Year. You have to play him down the stretch. Obviously, I'm not Rick Pitino. I'm not a legendary coach, but I heavily disagree with that decision. Zuby Ejiofor balled out for St. John's. He had 23 points and 12 rebounds. Like I said, RJ Lewis Jr., 3 for 17. Carter Knox had 15 for Arkansas. John L. Davis had 13, and Billy Richmond III off the bench had 16. Both teams were awful from 3 in this game. Arkansas went 2 for 19, 10% from 3, and St. John's went 2 for 22. These Razorbacks started off the SEC conference play 0-5, and now they are dancing to the Sweet 16. Game 3 of the day, Michigan versus Texas A&M. Texas A&M controls a majority of this game. Matter of fact, they're up 10 in the second half, but Michigan late in that second half comes storming back. This Rodney Gale Jr. three-pointer makes it a 1-point game, and then this golden layup puts Michigan up 73-70 with 5 minutes to go. Michigan will run this lead all the way up to 81-72. But Texas A&M never quits, a Buzz Williams team never quits, and Michigan starts taking some questionable shots early in the shot clock. These Zurich Phelps free throws makes it a 3-point game with 1:29 to go, 82-79. That's when Trey Donaldson hits this layup. It was a very, very tough one and a gut punch for Texas A&M. Wade Taylor, the fourth, has this 3 rim in and out, and Michigan is moving on to the Sweet 16, 91-79. Wade Taylor finishes an incredible career, 4 for 15 from the field, 1 for 8 from 3, 14 points. And then Pharrell Payne had a phenomenal tournament. He had 26 points in this game, all inside against those 7-footers. On Michigan's side, Golden had 23 and 12. Danny Wolf had 14, 9 and 4. And then Rodney Gale Jr. off the bench had 26 points. The most anticipated game of the day for me is this next game, Drake versus Texas Tech. Early on, Drake is executing well on offense, but it's very apparent very quickly that they do not have a big on defense that can stop JT Toppin or Darian Williams. At halftime, Texas Tech is up 37-30, and after taking tons of threes in round 1, it's all in the paint. JT Toppin and Darian Williams combined for 32 of those 37 points. And in the second half, it's just more of the same, except for Drake is having a harder time converting on offense. They get it to 5 a couple times, but this game never becomes a one-possession game. Texas Tech wins 77-64. Bennett Sturts was phenomenal for Drake even in this game. If you watched it, you saw it. He had 21 points and 8 assists. He just didn't have a team around him that could shoot, and the guys that could shoot, Abreu did make 5 threes. His other buddy that could shoot, Mascari, did not have an open look in this game, if I remember correctly. JT Toppin finishes with 25 points on 11 for 13 from the field and 12 rebounds. Darian Williams, 28 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Elijah Hawkins, 16 and 7. And remember, this team does not have Chance McMillan either. These guys shot 2 for 14 from 3 and still shot 54% from the field overall. As for Drake, Bennett Sturts is probably going wherever Ben McCollum goes next year. The speculation and the steam is Iowa right now. That'd make me very happy as an Iowa fan. But tonight it was all Red Raiders. Hopefully they get McMillan back for the Sweet 16. Our 5th game of the day, Auburn versus Creighton, number 1 seed versus a 9 seed. And Creighton's up early in this one. Stephen Ashworth has 11 points. McAndrew has 9. They're up 28-25. And Creighton's up at half 37-35. But Auburn comes storming back with that offense in the second. And to start it, it was all Chad Baker-Mazara. Baker-Mazara has 12 points in just 7 minutes to start the second half, but after these free throws, he gets subbed out with some type of hip injury and does not return. But freshman guard Tahad Pettiford would take over in his place, and Creighton never really got back in this one. They get to as close as 6 with 1:39 to go, but Auburn wins 82-70, scoring 47 points in that second half. Janai Broome did not have the greatest game tonight, 8 points and 12 rebounds. Like I said, Chad Baker-Mazara had 17, having to come out early, not returning. Denver Jones 15, and the freshman off the bench Pettiford 23 points and 6 rebounds. For Creighton, you have a couple amazing seniors that have meant so much to this program over the past couple years in Stephen Ashworth and Ryan Kalkbrenner, who have played their last game. Kalk had 18 and 7, Ashworth 13, and Jemiah Neal 13 as well. All right, with these final 3 games left, 2 of them come down to the final possession. They're the most fun games of the day, so let's start off with a 3 seed Wisconsin versus 6 seed BYU. The first half was pretty boring. BYU was up by 11 at halftime. So let's fast forward to the second half. Wisconsin is down a majority of it. They find themselves down 10 points, 89-79 with 2:11 to go. And this is where it's going to get crazy. John Tonje hits this free throw. Carter Gilmore and 1. All of a sudden, Wisconsin's down 6. John Tonje hits this 3-pointer, and now it's 5-91-86 with 1:16 left. Igor Demon throws the ball out of bounds. Wisconsin ball, and with that, down 5 with 1:12 to go. John Tonje has an and 1, 91-89. That's his 37th point of this game. He's been taking over down the stretch. Wisconsin will get 2 stops. One of them, they don't get the offensive rebound, but thankfully, the second one they do, and they have one final chance to tie it here or go straight for the win. Everybody knows John Tonje is getting this ball with a chance to tie it or win, and what he does is fade away and miss. BYU survives an almost utter collapse. Wisconsin falls just short of an amazing comeback. BYU now advances to their first ever Sweet 16 since Jimmer Fredette led them back in 2011. On Wisconsin's side, like I said, John Tonje had 37 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists on 10 for 18 from the field. John Blackwell had 21 points and 6 rebounds. And although they came up just a little bit short, John Tonje finishes his career with one of his best games ever. On BYU side, Richie Saunders had 25 points and 7 rebounds, 6 of them being offensive. There's no reason he didn't touch the ball at the end of that game there, though, when they had a chance to seal it. And then Igor Demon had 11, 8, and 8. We have another fun game in store here with the 1 seed Houston Cougars versus the dramatically underseeded 8 seed Gonzaga Bulldogs. This was very similar to Wisconsin BYU, where Houston is in complete control early. LJ Cryer has 16 points at half, and he has 10 of Houston's first 17. Houston's up by 11 points with 4:29 to go, and that is when Graham Ike has 5 straight points, bringing this game to just a 4-point game with 1:18 left. And then after missing 1 free throw and making the other, Graham Ike will make both of his free throws. It's 77-74. Caliph Battle gets the steal and gets fouled, making this game just a 1-point game with 21 seconds left, 77-76. LJ Cryer comes in clutch, makes both free throws. It's a 3-point game, and Caliph Battle loses the ball, isn't really able to take a shot. Gonzaga loses this one 81-76. They had a chance at the end there, but just could not get it done. Graham Ike was huge for Gonzaga, and again, it's a shame. Shame on the selection committee for this team being an 8 seed. They did not deserve this. They could have went to an Elite 8 if they were a 4 or a 5, even a 6. Graham Ike has 27 points, 5 rebounds. Caliph Battle finished with 17 points, ending his phenomenal career. And Ryan Nembhard had 10 and 11 assists after leading the nation in assists. But Houston's freaking good, man. Jawan Roberts had 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. LJ Cryer finished with 30 points on 8 for 15 from the field, including 6 threes. Kelvin Sampson is just phenomenal, man. And our final game of the night, 2 seed Tennessee versus 7 seed UCLA. This game was back and forth in the first half, very low scoring, 27-25 Tennessee at half. But early in the second half, Tennessee breaks this one open. Chaz Lanier puts up 20 points. They're up 46-31, and they win 67-58. Zakai Ziegler finished with 13 points, and Jordan Gainey had 13 as well. Chaz Lanier is an absolute bucket, and it's what makes the transfer portal so special. He's playing at North Florida his entire career. Now gets a chance to give Tennessee their first ever Final Four bid in program history. But for now, he's punched them to their 3rd straight Sweet 16 as a program. That'll do it for today, guys. Day 3 of March Madness Explained and day 1 of the round of 32. We have 8 more games tomorrow, continuing the greatest weekend of the year. Thank you so much for all the love and the support. And as always, we'll see you on the hardwood.